Sorry, y'all. I was reading this little pop up that came up. Um, what up, y'all? How y'all Sunday been? I want to just tell my distant. I don't know what I want to call her, but I'll tell her a different time. I ain't gonna tell her today. But anyway, my day has been pretty good. It's been interesting. But I wanted to come and talk about carrying your cross as the black sheep. While I was doing something earlier, this topic came to me. And I think it's important, especially for people who feel like they have always kind of stood out. And to me, I feel like that's part of being the black sheep, right? One of the interesting things that I always keep in my mind when it concerns carrying my cross as the black sheep is that regardless of being the black sheep or the white sheep, I'm still a sheep, right? And so I hope when you finish listening to this live or listening to this message that you yourself can realize that despite what color you may be or what it is about your coat, right? Because sheeps have coats, they have to get them trimmed, they have to get them cut, all of the good things. Regardless of the condition of your coat, you are still a sheep, and you are still to be cared for by the shepherd. And so one of the things I have taken away from carrying my cross as the black sheep is that my uniqueness is one of the major things that makes a black sheep stand out, right? It's something different about the person, and it's something different about maybe how they walk, maybe how they talk, maybe even how they dress, right? It's something different about the black sheep. And a lot of times people will try to demonize the fact that you don't look like, you don't walk like, you don't talk like, you don't dress like the other sheep. And you're not called to do that. And I think as black sheep, when you realize that you are different or you are unique for a purpose and on purpose, it makes it easier to carry whatever cross that you may have. And thank you. Um, it doesn't matter about any of the things that everybody wants you to focus on, right? It's about literally carrying your cross. As the black sheep, yes, you are ostracized. Yes, everybody is not going to like you because of the fact that you stand out so much. And it's kind of obvious that you stand out, right? Because everybody else looks alike. They walk alike, they talk alike, they bad alike, whatever you want to say, right? They do all of those things alike. And so when you are out here trying to carry your cross as a black sheep, the most important thing is to remember is that you are different and unique on purpose. And so that is not a badge of dishonor just because you are different. It's part of the beauty in carrying your cross, hey, as a black sheep. And another one of the things that I learned or I had to learn on my journey, on my process. How you doing, Landon? How you doing, Tino? Thank you, Prince. Is that um because you are different and because you stand out, there's always going to be somebody with something to say. And I've had to learn that a lot of times people are only saying things because they want attention. For me, thank you, Tino. For me and hey, Leah, for me and my life, or just my experience, especially being a black sheep, carrying my cross, as well as dealing with so many people because I'm being cyber stalked, who watch my life just to try and find something to say, just to try to find some opportunity to make me feel bad about myself, which I'm not going to do. Um, I've had to learn not to respond to everything sent your direction. There's enough that you have to do as far as carrying your cross, right? There's enough weight that comes with it. Thank you, Landon. And yes, just because we know as believers, right, that we have a shepherd that will help us carry it and that will help lighten the burden. It does not take away the fact that the burden can still be heavy sometimes, that the cross can still be heavy. There's a lot that black sheep have to do. There's a lot that black sheep go through just because their call concerning their purpose, their role, their family, whatever it may be, is different, and it's going to look different. It's just different. It's just different. And regardless of the weight that others want to add to you, carrying your cross as a black sheep is enough, right? It's enough. And so, one of the other things I have learned as far as carrying your cross as a black sheep is that despite your path being different, or your cross maybe appearing different just because everybody else may be a white sheep and their paths may look similar, or um, because they ostracize you, the things that you have to go through may stand out. The light that you carry is going to shine just a little bit differently. And because it shines just a little bit differently, it's going to attract some very different and unique characters, um, which makes the process even more interesting. But what I've learned is that despite of the light that you have shining a little bit differently, um, it does make the attacks on your life different. It does make the experiences that you go through sometimes, it it makes you question why. But the simple truth, or the simple answer to the why, is that it's all on purpose for your benefit. So, example, today for me, right? Some of the things I've had to experience on my walk and carrying this cross, right? Um, being separated from my family, or thank you, Landon, or having to deal with people who pop up random places that I'm sitting at, just following me doing weird stuff. Like today, for instance, I've been a few different places where I've just kind of been chilling. One of the places I went today, there was a guy that popped up in a Nissan, and he was literally just sitting there with his lights on in my direction while I was just minding my business. And even now, as I'm recording this video, there's a red car to my right side, and it has been there maybe 5 minutes after I got where I'm at, and it has sat there the whole time with their lights on in my direction. Now, some of you may hear that and you might be like, what does that matter? But when you're being stalked, when you're being gang stalked, you end up paying attention to the little things, right? Because the little things matter, or they add up. There's nothing that I have experienced at this point in the journey where it's a coincidence. All things that you go through, regardless of if you're a black sheep or a white sheep, all of them have purpose, and there's a meaning to it. There's a reason behind it, right? Even if it's just something as simple as a uh I can't say coincidence. I don't think things are a coincidence anymore. I think things happen as they're supposed to happen, but I think that they have meaning and reason behind it. Because for me, I don't care how good of a battery I got. I'm not sitting anywhere for 20, 30 minutes just with my lights on and pointing in somebody's direction. I'm not going to do that. Not intentionally. Y'all, shout out Landon Burris. What you want me to shout out, Landon? Landon, you got something you want to add to being a black sheep? Do you feel like you're a black sheep? Anyways, so another part of carrying your cross. Um, I've learned that sometimes in carrying your cross, the weight of the cross does not necessarily always get easier. you just get a little bit stronger in the things that you have to deal with. So, um, for example, you might deal with different things in cycles. That's one thing that I have realized. You deal with things in cycles. Um, some people might say, oh, that's something you have to break or whatever the case may be. But for me, in my experience, there have been things that I've experienced to me where it feels like in cycles. So the first cycle might have been people randomly popping up all the time where I'm at. At first, when it first started happening, I used to think, okay, maybe I'm tripping. I realized soon, because it kept happening consistently, that I was not tripping. The next cycle might have been um, people randomly honking their horns every time they pass me, right? The third cycle might have been people coming, sitting where I'm at, and flashing their lights like this guy is doing and the guy before him earlier. Um, gossip is such a big one. It's such a big one. And I get it. I did a live earlier on that as far as the freedom that you have as a black sheep, or that you have as any sheep, really. But certain experiences grow you in a way that help you appreciate or fully live in the freedom that you have, regardless of what kind of sheep that you are. Um, for me, because of the different tactics that the enemy uses, because of the different tiers and levels of people that he uses, right? Sometimes you think that, oh, it's just your family that's attacking you. No, sometimes it's other people that you don't even know, but they watch your life just as hard as your enemies and everybody else. Sometimes it's them too putting their mouth on you. They ain't met you in person a day in their life. And I know they on payroll, just like the gang stalkers be on payroll. It's okay. It's not okay, but it happens, right? And so, um, sometimes you go through things in cycles. So the fact, when you're able to realize that you might go through things in cycles, right? It's kind of like the scripture where it says that the demons went out of the person and they went searching around to find another host, but they couldn't, so they came back 7 times worse. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like when you stop doing the thing as a sheep, as anybody, right? When you stop doing a thing, um, and you end up growing in different ways in different areas because you have stopped doing these things, then those same things that you once did will try to circle back just to see if you'll open back up to them, because they've already tried to go and attach themselves to somebody else, and they've realized that they were not able to attach themselves to anyone else or to you. And so, that's kind of what I mean in cycles, right? Sometimes you'll go through a process. Maybe you stop smoking, or maybe you stop drinking, or maybe you stop doing, I don't know, just stupid, foolish stuff, right? You just stop doing whatever it was. And those things will spin the block to see if you're still stupid, in essence. But the beauty of carrying your cross as a black sheep is that you grow in knowledge. So you don't be the stupid one. It be the people thinking that they just, I don't know. People don't be, I don't know. I know, but I don't know how to put it in words for y'all to digest at the moment. But carrying your cross as a black sheep, okay? Your cross, your burdens are a little bit different because you, in essence, are different. And there's nothing wrong with being different. And as soon as you accept and realize that your differences are exactly the thing that make you unique, it makes the cross that you have to bear just a little bit lighter. The burdens are going to be the burdens. All crosses, all people have their crosses that they have to bear. But the biggest thing as far as being a black sheep and carrying your cross is accepting the fact that you are uniquely different, and you are uniquely different on purpose. It is also accepting the fact that regardless of what anybody says, right? A family, friends, fake friends, frenemies, people that watch you and can't stop you. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's your favorite idol. I don't care if it's somebody that wants to be an idol in your life. I don't care who it is. Like, I don't care who it is. You were uniquely made the way that you were made on purpose. And acceptance of that is what helps your walk in carrying your cross. You are not called to be like the other sheep, because if you were, then God would have made you similar to the other sheep. So, being the black sheep and trying to mold or groom yourself to be like everybody else makes the burden of carrying your cross that much harder, because now you're forcing yourself to be something and someone that you're not, just because you feel like it's going to alleviate whatever burdens are coming with the cross that you have to carry. And it doesn't work like that. You may want it to work like that because you may feel like being inclusive makes all of the other gossip and everything else go away. People talk about people regardless of if they look like them, walk like them, talk like them, dress like them. Everybody's going to have something to say. And there's nothing wrong with having something to say about whatever, right? We all have our opinions. It's just an opinion. If you're going to feel this way one moment, it's going to be okay. I've gotten to the point in my walk where there are people who mock me, right? They mock me, and I know they mocking me, but I also know that they been forced to do it. So I'm laughing, y'all, only because I be feeling bad. I think it's dumb. I think it's dumb. But I see it. I be catching it, but it's like, what does that really do for you? Because I don't think it's doing what you intend for it to do. So you're really exerting all of this energy because you want the attention or the response. And it's like we can't feed the wolves our flesh. And I've been working on that because I've been dealing with um so many verbal attacks, spiritual attacks from just people that are lost, right? People who um still carry their own shame. So they want me to feel shamed about something. People who have not truly accepted the weight of their own cross. So they want to add weight to my cross. I've been dealing with people who feel like um, I'm target practice, I guess. Like, I guess they feel like if they can hit me, then they got good aim. But people don't understand how much they aim is really off. Like, I don't think they understand it. And so, um, acceptance is one of the biggest things as a black sheep that will help you in carrying your cross. When you accept fully who you are, when you accept that you are made to be different on purpose, for purpose, when you accept that trying to be inclusive or trying to be or imitate everybody else is not, that takes away your uniqueness. So why would you do that? Why would you do that? When you accept that people are going to have opinions regardless of if you walk like them, talk like them, dress like them, they're going to have something to say regardless. So it's better to embrace, carrying the cross that you have instead of trying to mold yourself to be like somebody else and you don't know what all comes with the cross that they have to carry. So I'm sharing this message, hopefully to help anybody who feels like they're a black sheep understand that your uniqueness is a gift. It's a gift. That's why they're going to talk about you so much. That's why they're going to add pressure to you so much. That's why their entire goal to break you is so they don't feel like you're now the new shiny object in the room and there's only space for them and those that are like them. When if that's what God intended, He wouldn't have made you a different sheep in the first place. So, accepting who you are, how you are, and learning that despite the cross that you have to carry, despite the burdens that come with being a black sheep, that they in themselves are a gift and they're there to make you stronger. They're there to help you overcome and push through whatever it is that you're dealing with for for a purpose, on purpose. Carrying the cross is not easy. I don't know if any of y'all seen Passion of the Cross or any of the plays that people usually do around the holidays, right? I could not imagine myself having to carry a literal cross and walk with it. It's hard sometimes carrying the spiritual cross of all the things that we have to endure and overcome in life. We don't have to add to our cross by trying to be like people that we were not created to be like. And a lot of the times, the things that we want to go and add or decorate our cross with, they only end up making us look silly because they don't fit the cross that God gave us. So yes, there will be plenty of people who want to point at you and say, "Oh, you're different, so you're the bad guy," or "Oh, you don't agree with everybody else, so you got to be quiet," or "Oh, you don't talk as much, you need to talk more." And then when you start talking, it's, "Oh, you need to shut up." That ain't your problem. That's not your problem because they're going to talk regardless. Whether you talk a lot, whether you talk a little bit, whether you do a lot, whether you do a little bit, they're going to talk regardless. And at the end of the day, guess what? You still got to carry your cross and they got their own cross. So accepting your differences and like truly loving them and embracing them, people will try to read you, try to figure you out, and they only want to do it for ill and sick purposes. It's never for any good. It's never for any good. I remember watching this lady, and there are certain things that people do. And sometimes people will do things because they want to intentionally prevent you from having access to the knowledge that they have. There are some people who do not mind sharing the knowledge that they have because it grows you. They actually do not mind being of service, right? All of us are called to be of service in some form or fashion, especially as believers or followers of Christ, right? We're supposed to be living a life of service. And your life of service could be different from somebody else. Maybe you serve in a physical church. Maybe you don't go to church. I don't go to church. I done said that. I know people try to criminalize me for that and try to say, "Oh, you got to be in a church building." I got to be in fellowship with Jesus Christ. I got to have a relationship with the Father. As I grow and as I continue on my walk, those who are called to me or who are called to you will come. They will pop up. God will place them in your life when they're supposed to be in your life. And they'll stick around if they're meant to stick around. Sometimes they won't stick around, and that's okay too. That's another thing as a black sheep. Like, you have to be okay with losing things, people, places, all of that. You got to be okay with it. You got to be okay with it. We like to hold on to things sometimes, and sometimes there are the exact things getting in our way. I've experienced that. I've experienced that. There are people that I have helped, and I won't say the type of help that I gave them because it doesn't matter. And they're the same people who put their mouth on me. Like I don't know they past. Like I don't know they present. There are some people that I have discontinued relationships or associations with. Why? Because they're not part of my walk. They're not part of my process. They're not part of my journey. Maybe we've outgrown relationships. Maybe they have shown a side to them that now doesn't sit right with your spirit because because of the fact that you have accepted who you are and you have accepted the cross that you have to carry, everything not gonna be able to come with you because you're already carrying the cross. There's some things you just can't carry along with you. And they be the same people who you love, despite of if you love them perfectly or 100% right. They're the same people that try to pull you back down because they don't want to come up. It's not because you don't love them and you don't want to be around them. It's that they want you to come down when you've already started going up. And why would you do that? Don't have anything to do with you feeling like you're better than them, but it does have everything to do with acknowledging that you have grown and that you have changed. And there's nothing wrong with growth, there's nothing wrong with change. But sometimes it does make other people feel uncomfortable because they can't comprehend what you have going on. And it's not your job to try to force them to understand it. I don't force people to understand anything anymore because I feel like if you truly, genuinely wanted to understand, you wouldn't judge first. You would listen. You would listen. You would listen. Even me, myself, and carrying my cross and um, trying to walk to the best of my ability in the things that God directs me to and gives to me. I've had to work on that myself. Sometimes you just gotta listen and get the full picture before making a judgment. Sometimes the judgment is gonna come instantly because God just shows it to you. And people will try to make you second guess what you know you've seen because it's like, oh, how did you get that? Nobody else got that. How did you get that? But it's because they don't comprehend who you are. They don't comprehend how you operate. They don't comprehend the relationship that you and Christ has. So it's how did you do that? You can't say that. Who are you? I'm exactly who God told me to be. And I said what God told me to say. And the crazy thing is, as a black sheep, you eventually get to the point where you can say something and it's going to sound like you have an issue with such and such person, and you don't hate the person at all. You might dislike something about their spirit. You might dislike what they do or what they're saying. But it don't mean you hate them. It's people that talk about me right now, and I laugh. My flesh sometimes does want to rise and give them the attention that they want. But for what? For what? Just to sit and go back and forth with somebody? No, no, no. Especially that somebody got kids, that somebody could have a husband, that somebody they got a whole lot of other stuff they could be doing besides going back and forth with me. And I can't give you that. I can't give you that. But so much. Sometimes it slips. I'm still working on it. Sometimes it does slip. But I'm not about to be going back and forth with you. I ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I can't give you that. I'm gonna say my piece. If I get to that point, I'm gonna say my piece. And that's gonna be my piece. And I don't hate you. I might dislike you. But that's it. I was over it after I said it. I might laugh about it a few days later though still, but it's not like if I ever saw you and be like, oh, I still hate you for what? No. No. So the biggest takeaway in being a black sheep is acceptance. That's it. Acceptance. And that's the greatest gift that you can give yourself because it's already so many people out here in this world who don't accept themselves, so they don't want you to accept yourself. And they're going to have a hard time with the fact that you do accept yourself. And you shouldn't change that just to appease their feelings and their emotions. You shouldn't. Um, So yeah, that's my little tidbit on carrying your cross as a black sheep. Is accept the gift of being a black sheep. Accept that you're different. Don't try to force yourself to be like everybody else. Um, be who God created you to be and walk in that, regardless of what it looks like to whoever. Um, don't add the weights of other people's opinions and views of how they feel like you should be or how you should carry yourself, how you should talk, how you should walk, how you should dress. If Jesus told you to be walking around here in sackcloth, that's your business. If Jesus told you that he don't want you to work, he wants you to do whatever it is he wants you to do. If Jesus told you that for 30 days you need to do whatever, I'm just calling stuff out, I don't know, but whatever he told you to do, that's what you need to be focused on doing, because he the only person that's gonna give you the okay to anything. So accept yourself, accept the cross, that whatever it may be for you, and own it. Because you're different, yes, people are going to have something to say all the time. All the time. And it's so interesting. One of the funniest things to this day to me since being cyber stalked, this is a tangent. I ain't even talking about being a black sheep no more. But one of the things that's been extremely funny to me is the fact that people will get around me and they just get so extra loud. Like, they'll be having a conversation and for some reason they just have to be extra, extra loud. It's like I have to hear what they're talking about. And it's just like they want attention. Attention is crazy. Attention is a crazy thing, y'all. Attention is a really, really crazy thing. Don't pay those type of people nothing. Pay them dust. Absolute dust. Don't give them the attention that they want. Feed them dust. Feed them dust. And if you give them enough dust, they'll probably choke. Now, I ain't telling you to feed them dust. Feed them dust, okay? But I think that's been the funniest thing since I've been cyber stalked. It's like people just want me to hear the things that they have going on in their life. Like, I'm gonna say, okay, here's a cookie, and I really wish mm, I need to pay for my Canva thing again. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should print this. Like, I ain't gonna talk about it because somebody mama gonna be on the computer as I speak trying to make it, and before I even get to make it. But yeah, that's my tidbit on carrying your cross as a black sheep. Accept who you are, accept the cross, and don't try to be like the other sheep just because you stand out. But love you later. Have a great day.